Y'all, my yarrow is overtaking the garden bed, so I'm gonna have to cut her back down. She's falling all over the place and blocking the sun from the calendula. So that's where we're at. The bee balm is also taken over. I don't know if you know about her, but she really is a bushy big plant and she loves to grow and spread. It's my second season with this plant growing. I'm hoping these are buds in there, that they're gonna be flowers soon. And there's some more calendula. It's pretty shaded, but I think I'll make some space for her. Same with over here. Like, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. The yarrow is just falling all over the place. We got our dill. And the strawberries were not successful. I don't know if it's because they're just bushy and we need to grow them better, but I'm gonna do something about this next year because we want some strawberries and we have the plants, so we need to figure out why they're not growing. And I think it's because they're maybe too crowded. We got our raspberries coming in, and I love to take the leaves and make tea. I use it in one of my teas that I sell, and it's for our wombs, for women. I know that a lot of people know about raspberry leaf, but if you don't, it's a very supportive herb for our wombs. It's very, what would I say? It's astringent, so it helps with blood flow. It helps with tightening our wombs. Not that they need tightening, but cleansing, you know? Cleansing and renewal. Perfect for, you know, I think any woman really. Men too. And then we have some Swiss chard in between our garlics. I'm pretty sure they could come out and we can make a salad. Our garlics are getting big and stocky. Look at those. Those stalks are big. We're going to collect this garlic scapes. Maybe some dill. Make like a pesto. Something we can use at another time. Our watermelons are right there. But yeah, we're going to tackle this calendula. Y'all, it is almost July. And summer solstice just passed. The summer feels like it's here. We have a nice hot day. I am in love with it. I'm going to work in this garden and maybe go for a swim and just take it easy. Tidy up the garden, give it some more love and water, and I'll check back in when we finish that up. So guys, I moved the catnip that was there. And I moved it over there. And I moved all of the calendula seedlings over to this area since this is the most open space. I also got the nettle from the back and I put it right there beside the motherwort. I feel like they are good companions together. And I refilled the oyas and watered the beds, cleared away all of the weeds, put some calendulas in here because calendula grows good with tomato. It's a very supportive herb for the plant. I harvested some dill and all of the garlic scapes that were fat and juicy and some other herbs. I'll show you what we got. Back again with another video. Just gonna hop into it here. We are currently at the apartment. We are heading to Grammy's and we're gonna spend the night there. It is super hot. She has AC. We don't have AC. We just have a little fan, but we are going to also do some gardening, and there will be a garden update as that's where the garden is. But I wanted to speak about homeschooling in this video because that's something I'm venturing off into as you know, as a kind of a low-income family, one income. We are mostly on one income. I wouldn't say low income because my husband does have a business slash works for someone that, you know, helps us. It really does help us, and he works for a good employer, and also he has his business, which is amazing. But also he's just starting out too in this country, in Canada. He's just starting out, so you know, it's slow. The growth is slow, but I think that is the best kind of growth. Instead of just getting a bunch of money that we don't know how to manage, God is teaching us how to be stewards of our finances. And for me personally, I didn't return to work. I had a son, and I chose that, you know, this is what God has trusted me with, and I want to see to it that I can raise him in the best of my ability and teach him differently than, you know, a lot of us had growing up. I understand being able to have my son home is a great privilege, with the help of my family and my husband that allows me to do so. So I do try to make an income myself. I have a business that I do birth photography, and I also offer birth support. Herbals, like I have my Mama Mallow apothecary, where I share teas, tallow, butters, oils that are all infused with herbs that I've gathered locally, and with oils I've gathered locally, because I want to be as local as possible. As you know, I want to support those people as well. We are a community, and I think if we support the direct people in our community, we're allowing that wealth to expand within our communities, our circles, you know, and hopefully it reciprocates. Anyway, so we are starting off the homeschooling journey. My son is 2, and I want to start learning what this is going to look like and what it is going to, what I'm going to need to do and how I'm going to need to change, because I have to grow and learn too. So I got this book from the library, Unschooled, and I also got Raising Free People. I got these out at the library on an interlibrary loan, so if you want to go get some, go to the library. We need to be using the library, people. I only started using the library because I didn't have an income to be buying $40 books. So that being said, I now choose the library all of the time. I sometimes get the book if I really love it and I want it on my bookshelf, but also I don't always need to have it, right? Like, we don't always need to own something just to have. So I have been utilizing the library for many things. There's also a sewing group that I attend at the library, and it's just a great community resource. And I find when you're actually going and visiting, just to even look at books or to just stop in and, you know, I take my son and he wants to play for a little bit with some of the toys. I let him do that, and I wander the book aisles, and even that just gets you in more involved with what's going on in the library, because then eventually you see their calendar and what's going on in the month, and you might attend another event there. So I think visiting your local library this summer would be a great resource for you to do, especially because libraries aren't demanded enough. There's threats of libraries closing, and that's actually a very scary thought, because a lot of our archives and our history is in the library for free, not for a price of a membership or a limited time offer membership for free. It is free. It's a free resource for all of us, and I think that if we are going there and supporting them and showing up, they have to show that people are using the library. So I don't know where you're at in the world, but if you have a library, go check it out. Go say hey, go sign up for a program. Who knows who you might find there, who you might meet, and what might happen. I am now sewing my own clothes, so if they're not great, they're not great clothes, but they are going to improve, right? They have to. So yes, these are the books I'll be reading this month for my literacy education, and we're going to start with Papa doing the phonics alphabets. We have been doing that, but I am going to be making it more of a priority each day, to carve out a moment in the day to run over a few letters and colors. And we have been doing that with the plants, and I think I'm going to make like a treasure hunt in an eggshell, like the cartons, and like put the colors, and then he can find the flowers or the plant material. He can find the plant materials to put into the right colors, and that's something that I want to do. And yeah, I'm just taking it moment for moment, day by day, and learning as I go, growing as I go, because there's a lot of habits that I need to change and adapt and evolve to. So this is going to be a fun journey, and I hope that you stick along with us. No? You have a stinky bum? Alright, until the garden. So we'll check back in at the garden. Alright, so this is at my mommy's yard, and I had a comment saying that it was misleading because I was saying that I grow in an apartment, and I guess that is true. It would be misleading. However, if I was in a situation where I didn't have this land and yard to use, I would ask around me, I would ask neighbors, or I would ask in the community Facebook groups and just in the community if there was a space available or if anyone would be willing to share their land. I actually went to the city hall when we moved to this town and I asked if they had any community garden beds. They said no, and they kind of put it on me to find land for someone to rent or share with the community. I didn't, however, do that because I don't know if we will be staying in this town, but if we were, I would certainly do that. However, I do think that there is people out there that would open up their yard for you to come and join in and grow a garden and maybe help them in return. Hey guys, welcome in to the garden. We are in the garden, and the first thing that I saw that I wanted to do was try to salvage these runners. I just pulled them out the other day when I was doing some rearranging and weeding, and because they will literally run the whole garden bed. So I am going to plant them in this pool because my son doesn't really use it. I got it free on the side of the road. We've put water in it, but he's more interested in like digging in the garden. So why not use it as a garden bed for now until we can get something different. Asia from the Yellow Door Urban Homestead uses a stacking system. I'm going to link her channel here because I always see her sharing about this stacking system, and she grows strawberries in it, and it looks like a great way to grow in a small space, especially when they're always going to give you runners, and why get rid of them if you can continue to plant them. So I'm going to look into that, but for now we're going to utilize this pool, and I don't know what else I'll get up to, but I'll make sure I show you along and give you an update on what the garden's doing. It is getting gorgeous and full, so I'm very happy that summer's here and things are producing, and the bugs and bees and all of them are crawling and creeping around. One thing I will say is I removed the yarrow from the garden bed, like most of it, because that will really take up all the space, and I needed the sun to get on the calendula. So they're now in the full sun, and I'm not sure if I did a great job doing that because I feel like now there might be too much of a shock to them, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. Calendula is my third year growing her. The first year she did like amazing. I was postpartum, so I wasn't really out in the garden much, but it was near the end of August when she was really in full bloom, and I'm really hoping the same for this August. Last summer I didn't plant any seeds of her because I thought that she was going to bounce back from the seeds from the previous season, because I love using it in our tallow creams, like our solstice butter that I use in the shop. It is a favorite of a lot of people's, mine especially, and my husband's, so I like to get a lot of calendula that I can from my garden and from a local farmer for that specific formulation. So yes, that is where we're at, and I will touch back in. It is very hot, so I'm just moving slow. I'm dilly-daddling. Alright guys, moved on to some weeding. We're just pulling out the weeds. Take them and I put them in the weed bucket. If you don't know, this is just like collects more nutrients, and then you can water your garden with it. So that's the weed bucket, and usually it's in like a barrel. Again, we're working with limited things, so we're just using whatever we have, and this was given to me with a whole bunch of gardening things from Mommy at the beginning of the season. So I've just been putting the weeds in it and filling it up with water, and I'm going to keep it under the table here so it doesn't evaporate. Alright y'all, so I've just done some weeding, mostly between these garlic. We have scallions. This is what I want to use to make our green seasoning. Definitely stay tuned for that video. So I want to talk again about this DIY Oya that I made with materials from the dollar store, and it is just a terracotta pot, a lid, and a cork. And I filled this up, and it's about the third day, and if you can see where the water line is, you can tell that it is slowly seeping into the garden, and this is keeping the garden hydrated. The soil is nice and damp, and that is what we want. We want the soil to be nice and hydrated so our plants stay nice and hydrated. And if you see, I am digging around and getting in there deeper. This is the drier area where the oil might not be reaching. But if you see here, this is where I replanted the calendula. Deep in this soil, it is still nice and damp, and that reassures me that it is slowly feeding the soil and the plants over time, which is a great ally to have for these hot days. We don't want our soil to be drying out. And this is the wild grape bush in the back of the yard, and I love to make wild grape juice with these berries. And in the back, we also store the compost bins that we got for free, and I still think we need to level it up. We need to get like a PVC pipe or some sticks and bundle them up so there's a nice airflow in there. And we also need like a wire mesh for the bottom so no critters can get in. But y'all, this is where we're at, and we are just moving forward with it. Okay, y'all, so this summer heat is here. It's kicking in. It's hot today. It feels good though. It feels good to be hot. Hubby is grilling chicken. He's drinking some chicken because we're now making dinner. I just laid down with Hamir when he was napping, and now we're here. I'm gonna go harvest some thyme from the garden to use on our dinner, and maybe some other things I'll show ya. Building up the fire.
So we start with volcano style.
We got 3 little strawberries from our garden. That's the harvest from this garden plot.
Off the inside, we can get faster because it's great. So fast and come from the ministry, most sweat them after, but more and burn them up. If I go to CC, want you go to some chicken dinner, because I know she want that.
Yeah.
Friend CC. Good. So, the thing about this, guys, knowing when they're finished, there's one key thing that I look for. I don't know what other people. I look for the juice that's coming out. It's like what these guys see that there's no juice coming from these guys. These guys still have a bit of what do you say, that bit of the chicken juice inside it, like the raw chicken juice, or you know, want to get that out of it. As you can see like right here. See, you have that coming out. You want to get those stuff out of it, and you want to burn it. See, you know, you dry out all the moisture and everything, and you put what you want to put into that moisture, into that dried moisture place that you put it.
Oh no.
I was then invited to a friend's house to harvest some of their oregano and kale. I also left with a few other things, but I just want to say thank you so much, Auntie Tia, for welcoming us to your home and sharing your abundance. This is community, y'all. Like, food is free, especially when you're growing it yourself from seed. It does require energy. That's not the free part, but monetary, it is free, especially when we share within community. And y'all, check out a little clip of this. This looks so nice and fresh, and another beautiful plant that grows on Mother Earth. And Amir was just climbing all around in there. He had another little friend, and it's not always often that he has little ones to socialize and hang around with. We are wanting to grow more of that with trusted people and trusted community members. and that is something that felt good. And then we arrived back home, and it was evening here. As you can tell, it is darker, so sorry the lighting isn't as nice, but this is our little haul. This was the vegetables that we got from our CSA box. If you don't know what that is, that's a farmer's box, and it's something that comes weekly, and then I think it comes monthly in the winter times when it's not as abundant. And then we had some other veggies from hubby's work that he was able to bring home and share, some cabbages as well. And we have a lot of these, I want to say they're radishes, but they're like a watermelon radish, and they are so good. They're one of my favorite things right now to crunch on. I'm trying to get Amir to be inspired to try it, but he hasn't given it a go yet. And I'm going to try to actually pickle these. And then this was the haul from Auntie Tia's garden. What an abundance here. And we also picked up some snap peas and some tomatoes and cucumbers from a farm stand, as well with these strawberries. And y'all, another video. Much love.